Inquiry, to start with, is the word that I was always a little afraid of. I think it sounds really big.
At first we struggled. It was really it was like a requirement, it was an add-on.
It's really about taking a step back from the hustle and bustle, the everyday busyness, and coming up with that major question that you're really curious about.
Gave me the potential to do it and say that I could do it, other than saying that I can't do it and it's kind of hard.
Inquiry is almost associated in my brain initially with just data, like pure facts and numbers, and this is what you have to find. And that's not my strength. I can give you lots of anecdotes and I can give you lots of lesson ideas, but I am not a data person, and I found that that's not inquiry at all. It's a part of it, but I think inquiry is simply exploring on a question.
What inquiry means here at PS 131 is like a recipe.
So it's detective work.
You know, inquiry is a form of process, and almost taking it through our steps, like the scientific method, seeing how we can apply different practices to reach different results.
You have a question to guide your path, but you don't necessarily know what you're going to find on it. And I like that there's no right answer, and it's almost like we're just collecting things along the way.
So when we first went into the inquiry team, it was like, what are we going to do? How are we going to do this? We just divided our students into a lot of different groups, and we saw, well, which groups were not succeeding.
We looked at ARIS, we looked at the various standardized tests. We also looked at our grades. Comparing them, we were able to have a discussion as a group.
Teachers began to work collaboratively to identify an area of need or concern, an area where the kids were struggling.
And we look at what every student did. So we're looking at one concept down the spreadsheet and we're saying, so in this class or on this grade, all of the students struggle with subtraction with regrouping, for example, in third grade.
We noticed that a lot of our students were having trouble with figurative language, especially used in poetry.
English skills, that the vocabulary across curriculum, that's a problem with the students.
Measurement is such an issue for our students.
Inquiry, not only gathering data and analyzing it, but taking that data and putting it into motion.
And also look at my own instructional practices and say, even though I'm really comfortable doing this, it might not be working, so I need to try a new strategy.
So the teachers worked collaboratively to design a lesson. They would then implement the lesson, come back, review the results and data, make adjustments.
And once we see the change in practice, we're monitoring it. And if it goes well and we're doing well with that instructional change and students have learned, they have a positive learning outcome, then we'll make that school-wide. If it has not done so well after monitoring, then we'll go back to the drawing board.
It's ingrained in the culture. It's not something that we only do on Friday mornings. It's something that we're doing constantly throughout the day.
The collaborative inquiry groups that I'm on have really helped to enrich my teaching, and you can see that all over my classroom and throughout the teaching.
Teachers have teams. They're no longer working in isolation. We share best practices. The workload is shared. So children are getting the best from, multiple people working together on a project.
I was just very confused because math I really wasn't good at first.
Some of the vocabulary was kind of hard for me.
I look at my grades from last year. When I first started, I had 55.
I'm not basically a really good math person.
So when I saw this, I was just out of my mind.
We met with the inquiry team, and then I analyzed Johnny's assessment afterwards, and I found that not only was he now able to perform the task in completing the in and out box, but he was also able to explain it to me.
I went from an 86 in math to now I'm like a 95.
We could actually see what we did wrong and ways to improve. It gives me a better way to form my essay before I write it.
So I was like, yes, finally.